Good day, and this is DevCom 208, and I'm Mia De Vega, and I belong to Section A, Group 3. I'm here to report on Module 2, Part 1 of 9. Thank you for joining me today. Today's topics are models and approaches in communication for development, and I will be tackling communication models specifically with the three groups of models, which are unilinear models, transactional models, and systems models. I will also be briefly discussing the importance of talking about these communication models. Let's first refresh our memory and revisit communication models and what they are. What is a communication model? According to Dennis McQuill's book, Mass Communication Theory, a communication model is a selective representation in verbal or diagrammatic form of some aspect of the dynamic process of mass communication. That's a mouthful, but simply put, it's a visual of aspects in a communication situation, or according to our book, a representation of reality. Let's discuss the first among the three groups of models. Unilinear models are characterized by having a beginning and an end. Visually, it's a straight line. Starts when someone initiates a message, involves transmission of messages, and ends with an effect. Mhm. It's done by people. We have an example. It's Aristotle's model of communication. It's a unilinear kind of model. Right. Our book mentioned Berlow's model as having been criticized, as it was mostly seen as a unilinear model instead of a process, because I suppose the reverse flow doesn't really qualify it as a process. It was more like a unilinear model. Even as even as he revised it, it was still seen as a unilinear model. Second group of models we have are transactional models. You can clearly see that there is an exchange of messages between the participants. Some examples include Osgood and Fram's and Kincaid's convergence model. Briefly, it's characterized by having a two-way flow of messages, and it's a give and take. No one is passive. It's cyclical, and it's a process. Right. Transactional models are seen as having a sort of an equality between participants, as both A and B are seen as co-learners. Lastly, we have the systems model. Right. So it is there. It adheres to the principles of general systems theory, and you can read about it sometime when you're free. And our visual represents it, represents it as a group of wholes which are interacting, interdependent, and interrelated. And they're all part of a goal or a set of goals. It has no fixed sequence of events, and for more information and comparison between the three groups, you may check out page 27 of our textbook, Communication and Social Marketing. Why are we discussing this in the first place? So the importance of communication models um, is because the discussion of these theories addresses our assumptions about these models. So we may apply it to communication programs for development. So let's say if your purpose is to change behavior, or say, yeah, if your purpose is to change behavior, then you would maybe perhaps would like to apply a unilinear communication model. If you'd like to come to a mutual understanding of some sorts, then perhaps you'd like to use some transactional type of transactional communication model, something like that. Right. For my discussion question, among the three groups or categories of communication models, which one would you use specifically? Would you use? And specifically, maybe which model if you had a development program? And why? Explain it in your own words. Thank you. The final slide shows my references, and thank you for joining me today. Bye bye.